Thank you very much, Yuji. And as the last presenter today, I would like to welcome Hasibul Haq Imon, the program coordinator of the Liberation War Museum in Dhaka, Bangladesh. And he will speak about the advancements in accessibility at the Liberation War Museum, which is devoted to the 1971 Independence War in Bangladesh. So the audience is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. So, myself, Hasibul Haq Imon from Bangladesh, and I'm representing Liberation War Museum. So my topic is advancing accessibility and empowering individuals through the Liberation War Museum initiatives. So, can you go to the next slide? Okay, all right. So, I'd like to start with the story of our Liberation War Museum. Most of the museum here are actually representing the government, but these 8 people actually founded this Liberation War Museum through a trust. So Liberation War Museum was established in 1996 by a trust named Mukti Juddho Shriti Trust, which is basically the commemoration for the Liberation War. And founding trustees, those 8 people, they were basically the artist, cultural activist, researcher, art connoisseurs, and Mukti Jodhas, which actually basically the freedom fighters. Liberation War Museum went through a successful journey of moving from a small piece of 6,000 square feet to a large structure in 2017. We'll be watching the museum followed by, but I'd like to discuss about the galleries. We have 4 galleries. The galleries are basically, the gallery 1 represent the history and the rich heritage of syncretic culture of Bangla, advent of colonial rule and uprising against foreign domination, communal tension, and so on. This is basically the history part handles with the Gallery 1. Gallery 2 continue the struggle of existence. Basically, Gallery 2 starts with the struggle of our liberation war. Gallery 3 is basically our battles, our friends. These wars define this gallery with the occurrences happened from May to November, and gradually in Gallery 4, it ends with the victory, which actually happened in 16 December 1971. So our victory, our values, and the present and the naval operations and the armed conflicts, which actually happened during the war, actually presented in the Gallery 4. So the emphasis of the Liberation War Museum is the ideology of 1971 and how the history can be driven to the youth of our country through this construction of our constitution, which is socialism, secularism, nationalism, and democracy. And in terms of today's topic, which is really important for this conference, this is advancing accessibility. So our key aspect of advancing accessibility is youth involvement, first of all, and technology advancement, remembering the history, educational linkage, and inclusiveness. We have figured out in the last few presentations that engaging youth to the museum and history is kind of difficult task. So we'll be gradually discussing our activities and how we are actually empowering them through our initiatives. So we have some programs. There's our youth program of outreach and reach out. We have a very fascinating center that is Center for the Study of Genocide and Justice. So basically this center kept working to recognize our genocide, which actually happened in 25th of March 1971. So this center is academically contributing throughout the globe by empowering the individuals. And we have Liberation Dogfest as well. Our young volunteers contributes to organize this Liberation Dogfest. This is about documentaries regarding human rights and other stuff and commemorating the histories. And we have other programs like yearly Mukti Utsav, the festival of freedom. Not like the Tyler Swift one, but we are trying. So, all right. So we have multiple partnerships also with the International Council of Museums as well. And it is a great privilege to work with you, and it is also a great privilege to talk in front of the people you are here under the same roof, sharing our minds. So these are our collaborations with this international organization, which is International Coalition of Sites of Conscience, Asia Justice and Rights, Global Alliance Against Mass Atrocities, School Network, Library Network, and other few organizations. So again, we'll have to talk about the programmatic focus for youth. So a lot of traction we actually gathered throughout the Reach Out program. Rajiv Nath actually mentioned this mobile museum, which actually exploring all over the India. We do have the similar programs, we call it Mobile Museum, and it is already completed 2 times, traveling the whole country. It is continuously working on it. So our outreach program is the one where the mobile museum goes out to schools in the various part of the country, and those students from the remote areas who doesn't have that much of accessibility, who actually gathered this historical transition of liberation war, and they get to know and they get to involve, and we kept incorporate them in our activities. So then the cultural diversity, this is so important in terms of our Liberation War Museum. We call Liberation War Museum a cultural hub because there are multiple organizations voluntarily chose our premises, and we allow them to organize their programs. So as you can see, this is photographs of promoting ethnic and religious diversity by Liberation War Museum. So the band is a very minor band of our country. They promotes the marginalized community. So Liberation War Museum gave them spaces, and they kept organizing their conferences, my beg your pardon, their concerts and other cultural activities. So these are some indigenous people as well. Those are performing in our auditorium. And this is, I would like to mention this. This is about the International Mother Language Day, the 21st of February, which is the result of our struggles in 1952, which followed by the Liberation War in 1971. So this is the transition. As you can see at the left, this is a colonialized building, just two story. And now at the right, this is our current Liberation War Museum. I'm sorry, yeah. So if you have the files, we can have a little tour to the Liberation War Museum. Can we do that right now? Yeah. Do I have to play this from my end? I think we can do this later after the speech if there is an issue. I'm clicking on it. So for the clip, this is very much interesting because the transition of Liberation War Museum was kind of very challenging for us. The people behind the transformation of the Liberation War Museum, who are the day laborer students who donated for the Liberation War Museum. So it's not a government organization, but we are, yes, you are going to see the video, I guess, if things all right. All right. Am I ahead of the time? I think we can do this later. I'll just continue. All right? Okay. So, all right, so you all are invited to our museum because we are having difficulties to watch our clip. So after the clip, I wanted to emphasize this topic that you can see this is a photograph. This is an art from Shishir Dotto, an illustration. It shows the world is a village, and this is now you can see that we are actually under the same roof and sharing our minds. So the transformation of our museum can connect to a lot of communities, and we can actually collaborate. Okay. So we actually incorporated a virtual tour as well. Those who are not able to the museum, come to the museum, they can also go to our website. We have a virtual liberation or museum, and you can explore very much lively. It will be a very much gaming experience, and you can also use VR to explore the virtual tour of our liberation or museum. So I'd like to conclude with some of the urges. That is, the objective of the Liberation War Museum is to continue the effort of engaging the youth with education on ideologies of 1971 with as much as accessibility. I want to mention that we have a large galleries and large premises. Those are easily accessible for the people who needs this accessibility. And involving technology, we kept involving and incorporating technology to advancement for these experiences to be a very smooth experiences for the viewers and audiences. So to retain the highest standards of archiving and exhibiting the exhibits of LWM, we have the archive, and we kept working under research and technology, and kept involving professionals, scholars to gather more knowledges, and we kept hearing the audiences who writes comments in the comments box, and we regularly curate those things. So finally, this is really important for us since we are not a government organization. We are trying to to create a robust endowment fund for the Liberation War Museum, because it has to be an autonomous organization. You all know that political agenda is so, our history is so much incorporated with our political stuff. So this is an autonomous organization, and we want to make this for everyone like this, to not changing any history for the future. So this is why we need the total authority to continue with our museum, with our autonomousness. So we are working on it, and hopefully we'll be collaborating onto it as well. So these are my acknowledgement. I want to mention my honorable, one of my trustees, Mohidul Haq. He's a wonderful person, and and also Sarah Zakir, the current member secretary, and Dr. Regina Begum, she is the manager of the research and library, and Shauli Das Gupta, she actually helped me through the abstract and other activities. And thank you so much. Joy Bangla, and Joy Bangla is basically our constitutional slogan. I hope Rina could relate with the word joy. Joy is victory, and let's keep in touch. And I hope if there is not issue, we can watch the video. No? Okay. All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention. It might be a glitch there, but this is a wonderful experience. Thank you, CIMUSET, for organizing such a wonderful conference. Thank you. Sure. Sounds? Audio? All right, thank you. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much. It is an honor and it is a great privilege to talk here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you may stay on the stage, and I would like to the other two presenters to join us. Yeah, I surely have some questions regarding the three presentations, which were quite different, but as our moderating guidelines said, it's not about me, the moderator, it's about the the audience. So I would like to start with you and ask if you have any questions to our guests. Oh, yeah, Diego.
Oh, okay. I have a specific question for, it's Yuji Kurihamara, right? Yeah, as I perceive, you show some museums that like in a modern building, but also some that looks like part of cultural heritage of Japan. So how do your universal design copes specifically with the buildings that are cultural heritage? I mean, how much you transform and sometimes change the cultural heritage some way that it may actually damage it to make it more accessible, and somehow you need to adjust your guidelines so you can help to protect the heritage.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for good questions. Actually, my museum of National Museum of Nature and Science, is built in about 100 years ago. And also Kyoto National Museum is also built about 120 years ago. So they are so national important cultural properties. So it's strict so by Agency for Cultural Affairs to move or improve. So we have to discuss with the Agency for Cultural Affairs. It is good, it is okay. So it is very difficult to rebuild or renovations. So we have to 1 or 2 years of discussion, and the Agency for Cultural Affairs approves, so we can remove or so. But some National Museum art, Kyoto National Museum art, or National Museum of Ethnology is newly museum, so it's very easier to renovation or reconstructions. So it's difficult to older museum, but newly museum is easy to renovation. But we have to renovate for disability people, so we can inside renovation. So outside is very difficult, but inside in room is very easier to change. So, and also soft project, not the hardware, but software we can try to many project or many program for disabled people. So I will try it, okay?
Yeah.
My question is for Hasipul. First, I want to congratulate you on your very nice presentation today. Bangladesh Liberation War is an important chapter in the history of Bangladesh. I would say it is the most important chapter in the history of Bangladesh and creation of Bangladesh. And as of now, as I understand, the youth constitutes about 30% of the population of Bangladesh. And it is very important, I feel, that the youth of Bangladesh should know about the history, how this nation was created. How do you propose to increase the accessibility of the youths of today and the coming days to your museum through your programs and activities? What kind of programs and activities are you going to have for them?
Thank you. Thank you, Rajib, for a wonderful question. And I'd like to share something about the transition of Bangladesh regarding, he mentioned the Liberation War. So in our Gallery 4, we had a section that our Indian friends actually helped throughout the events. So thank you so much for raising this question as well. So you have mentioned that 30% of our population right now are the youths. Yeah, basically we are having a very high number of youths right now in the country. So our ministry, Liberation War Affairs, actually they have their motto to engage as much as youths to connect more with the histories. So they get to know the history and the struggles of Bangladesh. They can get access to research and how we can get recognition for the genocide which actually took place in 25th of March 1971. So the youths volunteers kept working, and they're working in different programs like Liberation Dogfest, and as youth researcher in the Center for the Study of Genocide and Justice. We have also other research activities as well. So the youths are very much connected to our programs. And also we do have this Freedom Festival from 9th December to 16th December, the Victory Day of our country. So this whole 7 days, 9 days, which starts from the International Human Rights Day, which is 9th December. So the whole programs actually designed for youth, and they actually work directly. So our whole, most of the activities engaged youth, and we are kept doing it. So our signature program is the Liberation Dogfest, and we also do collaborate with multiple organizations around the globe so to connect more youths from our Liberation Army Museum. Thank you so much. I hope this might answer your questions.
Yeah, I would like to ask, you have talked about the young generation, which is the majority of the Bangladesh people, but I think your museum has a quite challenging topic, and do the victims of this genocide will find themselves in your museum, the older people who suffered at that time?
Thank you, Frank. That's a wonderful question. I'd like to mention that the war actually happened in 1971, so it's now 52 years.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of injured freedom fighters who actually engaged to our Liberation Army Museum. They also shared their thoughts that how we can design this. And in terms of the older generations, they also kept involved in our different activities, different research workshops, and we do organize programs. And since it's a very wide space, as you have seen, this is very open for all. We call it museums for all, and we call it People's Museum because this is not a government organization. So any kind of people, older generation, youth generations are very much open to come here and explore their history.
Thank you. Yeah, please, Elizabeth.
Thank you. My question is also to SEOUL Haq. Oh dear. I'm trying to straighten my face on this one. Coming from a nation that is already within 30 years in in a growing state of disillusion to a certain extent about liberation struggles and their outcomes. And your museum is elaborating the liberation from struggles from 70 years. How do you find a space within your narrative to actually frame that trajectory, that national mood change from the euphoria, from the bittersweet experiences of the liberation, post-liberation, and the arc of growth, development, or lack thereof, progress or lack thereof, to where the country is now, in terms of aligning that with the kind of dialogue, with the kind of contestations that your general population, young, middle, and elderly, must be having. Is there a space for those kind of conversations to happen, or is that space shut down and it's being pushed somewhere to plan for the future, or is that those challenging conversations being allowed to take place as part of managing the packaging of what your museum offers? And I ask this because I know it's a difficult circle to square, but the reality is that this is the arc that countries go through, yes.
All right, thank you so much, Elizabeth. So this is very insightful thought as well, which you have actually mentioned with your comment. So our current ruling government is basically in the power. One of the resolution in their manifesto was to put those war criminals in the trial. Mm-hmm. So, and they are, I would say they're almost close to successful, and because they are the only government who are very much fair to our history. So they do have their liabilities as well. So as you know, this is for your information, we are now 52nd years of age of our country. So we will be graduating at the development country officially in 2026. It was supposed to be in 2024. Because of the corona crisis, it actually got delayed. So your question is more about the policy making stuff, and could we actually get to have the access to talk about the policymakers, right? So the thing is, in terms of our history, in terms of the liberation or struggles, we are the last generation, basically, who have still the access to talk with the freedom fighters. So we kept actually archiving our histories through oral history. I forgot to mention that we have 56,000 oral history, which actually recorded by the younger generations. How they actually did it, they heard stories from their grandparents, their fathers, who are actually involved through the liberation war. So in terms of our regular activities, and we will be organizing an international conferences in 6th to 7th November for the international genocide, with the international genocide scholars. So we are doing it with the collaboration of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Liberation or Affairs. So we're very much close to the government of the Bangladesh, but there might be a situation which might be challenging in the future, because this is the last generation who have those excesses, and if they are not fair to the history, the struggles, there might be a situation as well. So yeah, this is how we are working on it. Thank you.
Yeah, there's another question.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a question for Song Ji. In your presentation was about helping migrant children to come to museum and to participate in education processes and so on. I'm interested from my point of view because we have this idea. Have you attracted, besides the children, also their parents outside the program for children? Did you attract also families of these migrant children and so on? So do you have some experiences how to invite migrant workers, for example, to the museum independently of the children? I'm asking that because we have an idea. I'm come from Croatia, and now in the last years we have quite a lot of migrant workers. We don't know how to attract them, to how to invite them to come, how to get to them to come to the museum. They don't have families, mostly of them there. I know how we would reach the children through kindergarten, schools, and so, but we don't know how to reach the parents or singles. That's my question then.
Sorry, my English is poor. I need to use translation software. Can I answer you later? I'm sorry.
Do the parents of the children come to your museum?
Of course, we invited the family, the whole family.
Well, and is this very successful? Do many of those families come to your museum? So, sorry. Do many of those families come to your museum? And do you have some special programs for those families, not only for the children?
Yes. In my presentation, I should introduce is a parent-child program.
Yeah, this is an important social work you will do for the community, and it's not common for museums doing that kind of work. So do you get some extra funding from the government for these programs?
Yes. We cooperate with the government. There is funding.
Great, thank you. So we are coming to an end. Are there any further questions? So punctually, I would like to finish this session and thank all the participants for their presentations. We now have a general discussion, and the audience is for Diego, I think. Thank you very much. So, I have to leave this one here. So, that's my papers.